Hello everyone and welcome back to another GTA Online guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at all the choppers released as part of the Bikers DLC. Why all of them at once, you may ask? Well, not only are they all choppers, but they all have a very similar price range, so reviewing them all together might make it a bit easier than doing a video for each and every bike. Oh, and also if I did that, you wouldn't see anything but GTA Online chopper reviews for the next week and a half, and I'm sure even the most die-hard Pyrerealm gaming subscribers would get sick of that about halfway. So with that said, let's get to the overview of the choppers. So where to begin? So many choppers, so little time. I guess to make it a little easier to figure out which to avoid if you're one of those looking for the faster bikes in this lineup, let's begin the video with a drag race with every bike at once and filter out the worst from the best. And yes, I am including the Yakima because choppers or not, these are still bikes in the end, and it'll be interesting to see if there's any contenders to the Yakima, so... So obviously the Yakima was in first place, no surprises there, but it was very closely followed by the Nightblade. Then moments later the LCC Avarius crossed the line, followed closely by the Zombie Chopper and Bobber, and the last few to cross the line being the Damon, then the Rat Bike, and in last place being the Wolfsbane. I know what you're thinking, you could barely see a thing with all of those bikes on screen at once, so here's the top 4 bikes in better detail on that race. The Yakima, Nightblade, LCC Avarius, and the Zombie Bobber. And the last 4, the Zombie Chopper, which was only milliseconds behind the Bobber, the Damon, Rat Bike, and finally the Wolfsbane. So before we move on to the top 4 performing bikes in this video, let's briefly talk about some of the bottom 4. The Rat Bike, although one of the worst performing, I'd say is definitely worth the price tag of just $48,000, and if you're into Rat Bikes in real life with their barely functional look, this would be a great asset for those looking to make some in-game movies and machinima. The bike for some reason has a very glitched up wheelie. Whenever the front end is in the air, the bike seems to cause a massive earthquake and destroys everything around you as you ride along. Not only that, but the Rat Bike also has the ability of curb jumping. Some of the other bikes in this video have the same ability, but not to the same extent. So if you're into bike stunts on a chopper, then definitely consider this bike for purchase. However, the turning on the Rat Bike is terrible, so be ready to understeer your way into walls often until you get used to it. There's not really much I can say about the Wolfsbane other than it looks pretty cool when made into a World War era military bike, and the same goes for the Damon. Overall, these bikes look pretty cool for making movies with, maybe a recreation of the old classic The Great Escape, but I'm going a bit off tangent here. The Zombie Chopper was only just put in 5th place by its sister bike, the Zombie Bobber, which with their upraised handlebars gives them a sense of aggression and sleekness at the same time. Both the Zombie bikes are pretty much the same in performance, so just buy the one that you prefer the most, and I wouldn't really recommend that you buy both. Oh, while I'm talking about looks, I should probably state that all the bikes in this video have a huge variety of visual upgrades that you can apply to them to further make your bike unique among others. The amount of vinyls alone that you can get for bikes astounds me, and I'm sure there's at least one in the bunch that everyone will like. Both the Zombie Choppers can pull off some impressive wheelies, but like most bikes, the front wheel always comes back down when you reach high speed. They both also have the ability of curb jumping, though it's nowhere near as good as the Rat Bike. So now we're on to our last top 3 performing bikes from the drag race, although I should probably disregard the Yakima since that was just a speed reference. So now it's just the LCC Avarius and the Nightblade. So let's take a look at the LCC Avarius. First thing I gotta say is the LCC is probably the most fun chopper you can ride, but only because of its ability to wheelie when at high speeds. Other than that, it's a pretty nice performing bike that handles well in every situation, and it pulls off some pretty good power slides when you use the handbrake. But the LCC was beaten by the Nightblade, and wow, what a bike! I think my black and green paint job on the bike really expresses what the bike has to offer. It's the fastest chopper in the bunch, and overall, well, it's good. I'm sorry, these are all vehicles of the same kind, so there's not really much I can say about each and every bike, so let me just conclude the video with this. Let's face it, the bikes aren't going to be winning any races anytime soon. The bikes are appropriately priced, you don't have to be super rich to buy these bikes, so just buy these bikes based on whether you'd actually like to ride them or not. Because although the Wolfsbane did perform the worst in a drag race, I actually really like the Wolfsbane. Especially with the paint job I put on it, so overall, pick one that you like and ride hard, die hard. Wait, hang on. Ride fast, die fast? Wait, or was it, die fast, ride hard? No, ride hard, die fast.